Welcome back, Masters and Princesses, to another episode of Maid News Network. And this time it is TATU number 11. We will be covering Nashville and we will be covering the Charlotte one-man shows, which by all measure were absolutely amazing and everybody had a great time. But before we get into the shows, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody out there who has been watching these videos. TATU number 10, which was Rockville and Atlanta, had over 5,000 views. That is by far our biggest performing long form video. So thank you to everybody who's watching these. We really, really appreciate it. Makes all the effort worthwhile. And with that said, let's jump into the shows. First up was Nashville, and it was at, right, you see behind me, the Brooklyn Bowl. I had never heard of Brooklyn Bowl as a chain, but apparently it's a thing. And I thought, why are they playing in a bowling alley? I was 100% wrong. This venue looks absolutely cool as hell. There's bowling alleys on the side, but it's really more of a concert venue, and it holds like 1,200 people, and they sold it out. It wasn't sold out all the way up to the day of, but I guess as they were doing VIP entries, the VIP Nation rep told some of the people in line that the show was officially sold out. So good job, Nashville. In fact, great job, Nashville. You guys pulled it out right at the end. That's what we want to see. We want to see every single one of these shows sold out. The more we come out for them, the more they come out for us. So few changes with the set. They've been swapping and changing out the set every show on this tour, keeping things bright, keeping things fresh. I think they're trying things and see if they work. If they do, they keep them. If they don't, they're getting bounced out. So the one song that we haven't seen since the Texas shows is Dilemma. Dilemma seems to have moved out of the set, but we've got a couple of other ones that have moved in and taken up some very valuable real estate. So this time around, we've got Different. Different has showed up, and it's been well received. Different's always one of those fun songs. There's so much energy involved in it. Personally, over Dilemma, I prefer that one, so I'm glad to see that Different is in there. The Miku solo song for Nashville, Rockin' Me, up to this point, has been the one that we've been seeing, but Rockin' Me has moved out to make room for Sayonaki Dori. And from what I heard, that version of Sayonaki Dori at Nashville was one of the best ones she's pulled off live. She hit all her notes. The playing was really well. I had heard that Minsho was looking at her lovingly as a sensei to a student. But excellent version of Sayonaki Dori by all measures. Up to this point, we've had 19 song sets. Tonight, they bumped it up to 20, and you'll see the set list that I put up right here. These are all the songs in order. Thank you so much to Kevin Chong from Facebook, who made this nice little spreadsheet of every show so far. You can take a look and see what they've played on what night. You can compare it to the other nights. You can see where things have been taken out, added in, shuffled around. There's been a ton of shuffling this time around for the tour. I don't know if it's just they're having fun, if they're seeing what works where, but it's actually a lot of movement, more than I think I've ever seen in one of their tour sets. And I think that comes from the level of confidence to experiment, to play around. Let's see what works here. Maybe if it doesn't, we'll move it out, we'll move it around. But there have been a couple of very solid parts of the set that haven't moved at all. We always get the Miku stuff and from now on, whatever the instrumental is going to be, generally about mid-set, because that's usually the time that Psyche gets a break. We get omajinai time. Everybody just gets a chance to cool down from the banger of a front end of the set. But the openers for this entire tour have always been Domination, and the closers have always been No God and Endless Story. So I think that's going to be the bookends are going to be the very static part of this tour. And then the middle of the set is where we're going to get some play and some moving around. So I'm going to pop. One of the things I'm going to pop in here, speaking of omajinai time, is during Miku's omajinai time, the rest of the band went over to the bowling alley side and had a little fun. Miku's doing her thing, and they're over there bowling. And you can tell that bowling probably isn't their best sport, but they tried, and it looks like they had a great time.
Can see you, boss. Okay.
And you can hear Miku in the background telling them that it's not bowling time, that it's omajinai time. So one of those incredibly unique opportunities because it is a bowling alley. And one of the things that I think we love about the band so much is that we get these different, new, funny, fresh things during omajinai time. Sometimes it's generated by the crowd. Sometimes it's generated by the band. In this case, it's generated by the venue itself. So there's always something new and always something different going on at these shows. The crowd absolutely seemed to love it. And the video that I'm popping up in this, the credit goes to Retarded Antisocial. So fantastic job taking that video. Thank you. And good job. Another thing that we saw, to my knowledge, is the first time in Nashville was the girls shouted out Daisuke. And for those who don't know, Daisuke is their guitar and sound tech for the tours. He's been with them for a long time. He's just an incredible asset to the band, and he works so hard. And this is one of the first times I think they've actually shouted him out. Last tour, he missed the fall tour of 2022 because he got injured from an accident. But he's back with them now, and it's nice to see him get some recognition. If you yell to him from the crowd, he usually looks over and he'll smile at you, but he's not super interactive. So it's fun to see that the girls bringing him into that. After that, we move on up to Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome to the Underground in Charlotte, North Carolina. This was a much smaller venue for them, and it sold out really, really early. In fact, I think this was one of the first shows to sell out for the Maid dates. The Underground holds about 700 people. You can see it's an older style brick building right behind me. But what maybe it lacked in size, the girls made up in content. Because as I mentioned earlier, this is where we got a 21 song set. And at 21 songs, we're starting to creep up into Japan size set list. This is big for them. Normally they use the 19, sub 20 or 20 or below is about where we get it for the international shows. But to kick this up to 21, that's something really special. So you guys at the Underground got a little bit more than the rest. So I hope you enjoyed that a lot. Again, we've talked about some movement in the set. Which was part of the early shows in Texas, has seemed to move its way out. Whether it finds its way back in, we'll have to see as the rest of May goes and then what happens in August. But with you kind of bowing out, Blooming seems to have stepped in. And I know Blooming is a gigantic fan favorite. I like it. I don't love it. Um, Obviously, that's just me. It would be fun for me to hear some of the older stuff, but I'm never going to complain about a 21 song set list, and I will be happy with whatever we get. But we all have our favorites. Uh, Another one, and this is a first time, certainly for this tour, and I don't know if it's been played in the US, to be perfectly honest. They added in Carry On Living. Carry On Living is a great song. It's one of those ones that comes on because it's got just got kind of a cool beat to it, and it's a really good song from the album. Haven't heard anything how it played live, but I think that's a really neat entry. Even if it just shows up occasionally, that's kind of a good song that I think will sit well in the set list. So they did that right after Sense. That's a hard song to follow, but right before Sayonaki Dori. So it sits in a nice little place where it gives the band a chance to not really take a break, but we're getting into mid-set and we're getting into omajinai time. So coming down toward the end of the set, the other edition, and best I can tell, this is probably the 21st song that they added in, and it's one of their anthems. It's Freedom. So Charlotte, not only did you get 21 songs, but you guys got Freedom as well, in addition to all the other stuff that we've been seeing. Carry On Living. Really mixed up set for you guys. If you look at, I'll put the set list up again with all the other shows comparing it. They're really shuffling stuff up around, and it's really interesting to see. So if you were at either of these shows, more so if you were at both shows, in the comments below, tell me which set did you think was better. What did you like or not like about the changed up set list? How did Carry On Living sound? I'd be really interested to hear from you guys what you felt about Carry On Living. All right, as I mentioned before, Charlotte was a very small venue at only about 700 capacity, which was sold out. Those of you that were there, consider yourself lucky. I think these smaller venues are going to start going away because they're proving that they can do 1,200, 1,500, 1,800 for some of these shows. So to get a small, intimate venue, nothing like what Phoenix got at like 250 in October of last year. But these smaller venues, they're going to start going away. So if you can get to any of these shows, especially the smaller ones, by all means do it, because the days of these sub 1,000 shows, regardless of the part of the country, I think those are going to start going away. Consider yourself lucky if you get to see them in a smaller show.
今日はノースカロライナのシャーロットで休日中ですぽー。今さいちゃんとかなみちゃんが質問タイム、クエスチョンズタイムをしているぽー。こんな感じぽー。ちょっと青いぽね。こんな感じ。こんな感じぽー。みんな今日はねソールドアウトしたんだぽ。こんな感じで頑張っているよ。みさちゃんの顔がちょっと青いぽ。あーちゃんはバナナ食べてるぽ。全員ちょっと青いぽ。頑張ってくるぽ。
Right. Unfortunately, that's about all I have for this one. I wasn't able to have anybody local get some post-show interviews. We'll try going forward. Some of our regulars who go out there, ask them to do a couple of little quick interviews for people. Those seem to be pretty popular from the last video. With that, I'm going to wrap this up. But I would like to say, one last thing I want to say regarding this tour. Man, it is getting earlier and earlier for the lineup. The dedication is coming out and it's shining through. So those of you who are out there doing Dawn Patrol and you want to rep Dawn Patrol, go below this video. You'll see links for our merch where you can get a Dawn Patrol shirt, hoodie, coffee cup, whatever thing you want. But if you want to rep Dawn Patrol, we've got the merch for you out there. We've got our logo t-shirts as well. So with that, for Peter and myself, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support we get here at Maid News Network. We really, really appreciate it. This is fun for us. We like bringing this information to you. If there's anything, if you guys get some cool pics or little video clips, you can always send it to us and we'll do our best to include it in any of these tattoos or any of the other videos that we do, whether they be shorts, whether they be long form, whether they be live streams. We'll do our best to include that stuff for you guys. So with that, I'm SJ Nix from Maid News Network. This has been Tattoo number 11 for Nashville and Charlotte. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Maid News Network.